Alright, so our next one is Dites, donc. This is on page 19. She says, I was at the top, I think. I was 16 years old when I met your father. I was your age. How could I know what I wanted? Dites, donc. And I think I've explained this several times, but I'm going to just for my own peace of mind. It means basically like, hey, watch it. It's sort of like it's an exclamation, like, hey, stop it, knock it off. Listen, what are you saying? It's sort of like a surprise and also generally sort of like stop. So it's sort of like, hey. You can be like, hey, like, wow, oh, that's really shocking and surprising. And you can be like, hey, knock it off. So that's kind of the feeling of this phrase. Anyway, so, okay, so the first word is dites, dites. And in English, we'd kind of say dites, dites. So I'll do the English first, not making any noise. So, and then French is so you can see how the corners of my mouth are going really far wide. And I feel like, I don't know how to explain this, but the tip of my tongue isn't on the roof of my mouth, but I feel like the tip of my tongue is sort of pointing down. A little bit. It's not quite on the roof of my mouth. But right behind it, I feel like it's making almost a U in there, and this might be explaining too much. My tongue is sort of making a wide U, but it's kind of pushed up. The sides of my tongue are touching the ridge right behind my teeth. And that's what's helping, I don't know, push the sound forward or something. So it's kind of making a U, my tongue is. The tip of my tongue is not up touching my palate. It's down so that the sound can pass through. But in this U, the front of my tongue, sort of like right behind the tip of it, is touching that ridge that goes behind my teeth on my palate, if that makes sense. I can probably draw you a diagram when we're together, and we'll see if it helps. Or maybe I'm being clearer than I think I am, and maybe you get it. Anyway, so, again, in English we'd say dites, and in French you'd say dites, eat, and you spread the corners of your mouth really wide. So I'm going to do English-French back and forth. English first, without making any noise. So, alright, so dites, and then the second word is donc, donc. In English you would say donc, which is weird, but I'd say donc. So donc, onk, donc, donc, onk, donc, onk, 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 onk. So donc, onk versus donc, donc. Dites, donc, onk, donc, donc. Alright, let me do that kind of O sound, the onk, onk. I'll do English first several times, and then I'll do French, and then we'll go back and forth. So, onk is, and then French is, that looks horrible, doesn't it? Alright, so, and then from the side, because maybe that'll help. So English first, I'll repeat it several times. And then French is, alright, so, and then back and forth, starting with English. So as you can see, in English, I'm saying, but then in French I say, and I have to drop my bottom jaw a lot further. So, English, it's right there. And then French, I go. So I have to drop my bottom jaw really, really far down. I think so that my tongue closes off the back of my throat so that this sound shoots through my nose instead of coming out through my throat. I think that's maybe what's happening. So, yeah, if you can get that visual where English is and French is. So English, your chin is right about there. And then in French, you have to go all the way down there. Compare that with the English, it was like up here. Okay? So, eat versus eat, and dites. So, dites, donc, dites, donc. And you really accent the K on the end, the C, K sound. So yeah, dites donc is kind of what they say. Dites donc, listen, dites donc, shut up. Dites donc, you think? Dites donc. Yeah, I don't know, that's all I got right now.